What you're not changing, you're choosing. It's so easy for us to start thinking about how the things we do will make others feel. But when in those decisions have we really stopped to think, how will this make me feel? When are we include how many times are we including ourselves in that decision? I should say less of when are we and how many times do we think about ourselves also in the decisions that we're making and the choices that we're choosing. For example, if there is a social gathering that you and a couple friends are about to do soon, there's about 5 of y'all, so it's an odd number. It's easy for the majority to rule in that, small scenario. However, if 3 out of the 5 people are like, oh, I want to go to the club, and 2 other people, including yourself, are like, actually, I'd prefer more of like a bowling night, something real chill. The other friend is easily persuaded, like they could care either less what they do. But for you, you're not really into the club scene. And that's okay. Like sometimes it is okay to go the different route, even if you're the only one on that route. Quite often when you follow the crowd all the time, you end up realizing your life feels a lot more miserable than it really is. And it's just because you're making choices that don't make you happy. It is tough because I know that we value community, but I think every once in a while too, when you're thinking about the choices that you're doing and the community that you're doing it within, every quarter of your life, because we change and we evolve constantly, you have to sit down with yourself and assess, are the people that I'm spending most of my time with when I have free time the kind of people I can and want to see myself with to this level in about a year from now with where I'm headed? Because mind you, people are going to be on the journey with you, absolutely. But we're all taking our separate paths. Sometimes we come together once a year, a few times a year, every month, every week, maybe work at the same job. But at the end of the day, your journey is still your individual journey. And I don't want you to get so far down the line in your life of you, in a way, being a yes man or a yes woman and realizing that 80% of those choices that you made never made you happy. It was just for the fact that maybe you had a limited friend group. Maybe, it's hard enough when you get older making friends, so you just stick with what's familiar. The day you start making choices where you are the first person considered in that decision, it is the day that you're going to realize your life is not as miserable as you think it is. I think in my limited experience, I've noticed that when I say no to things I really don't want to do, it usually turns out for the best that I didn't do it. Because not only if I force myself to do something outside of maybe how I'm feeling in the moment, maybe I had a rough week, maybe I just truly want to relax, I end up being the person that brings the mood down. Not intentionally, but it's just I have now put myself out of what I've wanted to do, which was relax, reset. And if we were able to do maybe say an activity that was a little bit more of a reset than something you have to put such high energy into, it would be a different story. And mind you, this is just an example. However, at the end of the day, you have to really start considering, as I get older, and the path that I want to be on, where I'd like to see myself in a year, 5 years, and 10 years, these choices consistently are going to lead me into a place of despair. And I know that's a little extreme, but truly how you spend your time, I mean, that's really all we have outside of work and in the relationships that we're in, whether it's family, romantic, platonic, like our time, we cannot get that back. So if you're okay with saying no to going to a club on a Friday night, mind you, and it's no bad point if you decide you want to go to the club on the Friday night. Maybe that's the way that you release. But for people who are like, I just don't release the same way that people in my friend groups do, make choices for you. Find hobbies and interests that are low capacity, low money, and just find ways where you can entertain yourself, because there's nothing more powerful than being okay with being alone. And I'm not sitting on this podcast episode at all telling you to shun people out, never make friends. Maybe one Friday out of the month, you do go to the club with your friends. But maybe the other 3 or 4 Fridays, you decide that you want to get a new certification because you want to be in a different role next year in the job that you're in. Or maybe you decide you want to go to YouTube University and learn why, crypto is important and AI is growing. Maybe you just want to, I don't know, binge watch your favorite Netflix shows. Like, do things that truly make you feel at peace and at home, even if it's not at home physically. It's so tough, especially as you get older, to make choices for yourself because you realize that making friends, being a part of community activities are not as easy as they once were when you were in school, in college, at a job, maybe working within a company if you had early experience to that. When it's solely dependent on you and how often you get out the house or what you decide to do with your free time, it gets a little limiting. And what I don't want for you is for you to just make decisions that don't make you happy. So a couple of hobbies and interests that I would personally recommend that I have either tried, am trying, or will try is this. Pilates, number 1. Not just for the girlies. I promise you, if you're listening to this and you're a guy, please, for the love of everything that is good, Pilates truly changes your life. It helps you stretch muscles and bones, especially as you get older, that you don't focus on as much. And it's a great way to be in community, in a class, and truly pushing your body past what you thought was enough maybe at the gym or that you weren't doing just yet. That's my top one. Love Pilates. Will highly always recommend it. As of right now, until something comes along and I recommend it more. The second thing, painting. Go down to your Hobby Lobby or to Michael's or any arts and crafts store and get a small 4x6 canvas or maybe an 8x11. I don't know what the dimensions are, but get a canvas that's not too big and not too small. Get a couple of watercolors, find something on Pinterest to paint and paint it. Spend an evening doing that. I mean, I recently had a birthday and what I did with my family was we did a pasta and paint. I think I'm not really a wine drinker. I don't really drink at all, not just wine. And I was thinking, what could I do that's cute? I love alliterations. So I was like, a pasta and paint, because I'm a pasta girly. So we made some really cool chicken ziti Alfredos, and we got some canvases with some paint, watercolors, just different things that would make people interested in kind of just being creative and being free to express themselves, even if it came out ugly. And that was really therapeutic, to say the least. It was perfect. It was like we were painting in the garage, so we had the garage open, and it was a beautiful sunset. And it just makes you realize, when you slow down in life, you realize you can enjoy it a lot more than the life that you have to live, which is work. Maybe it's obligations with other people. It's not that bad. So you have to create space for the moments in life that you can slow down so that you can see and recenter yourself. The third thing I would recommend, hear me out, nothing. Literally sit in a park, sit at your local, I don't know what cities have or what different countries have, but anywhere where you can just sit and observe people. People watching is phenomenal. I'm highly recommending things that keep you in your nervous system regulated. That's something that I'm really passionate about. I don't think that you can have a balanced life if you're not intentionally focused on regulating your nervous system in moments that you can. Sometimes you're in high stress work environments that doesn't allow you to, but in the moments that you can, do it. People watching for an hour, sometimes you'll see how people walk, talk, listen, how animated they are with their hands, how much they love their dog, their children. It makes you see the beauty in life outside of your own. And it's especially nice on a bad day that you're having. I mean, after this video, if you've had a tough day, or maybe you're listening to it on the way from work or to work, the next opportunity you get to have free time, people watch, especially when it's been a particularly tough day. It will make you realize that there are other people also going through things. You'll see happiness, you'll see sadness, like you'll see other people's clouds of their thoughts. Sometimes you can just watch people and see how in their head they are, and you can realize, okay, it's not just me. Because sometimes when you're alone and you sit in your room or sit in your car or just like isolate yourself unintentionally, sometimes it makes it feel like the thing you're going through, you're the only one, and you're not. Just because I get on these platforms and I talk, like, be positive, do your thing. I do this also not because I just love it, but because it's important to show up for yourself. Because the more you show up for yourself on the days where you feel like no one showed up for you, you're reaffirming to yourself that no matter what, you will always show up for yourself. And it gives you a little extra push. You know that you can, like, this is in a way my form of therapy from time to time. So just find things that let you release in a healthy way. And the last thing I would recommend is to just document. However that looks for you. Me, I love to visually document. So I'll make vlogs, podcasts, videos, photographs. Some people like to write. I have also tried that form of documentation, and in more ways than one, it has helped me more than visual documentation, because I get to truly, from my brain, when I'm like seeing red, or when I'm just so inside my head I can't even think straight. The minute I put pen to paper, it's important that it's pen to paper and not through your notes app, because it can feel very similar to texting. Pen to paper completely changed my life. I have a notebook that says on the front of it, "Be still and know." And it's a notebook that is a little bit more spiritually based. So every page has a Bible verse on it. And it's really helpful for me because I'm really strong and connected in with my faith right now, and prayerfully forever. Don't know why I added that right now in. And it just, sometimes I open up on a page that's empty and I see that Bible verse in the corner, and I'm like, that's exactly what I needed to see today. If I don't understand it, because most times I don't understand the parables of the Bible, I'll look it up, or I'll ask ChatGPT, what does this Bible verse mean? How does this relate to the day I'm having? Give me perspective. Trust me, I use ChatGPT like my personal assistant. Literally ask it almost everything. Meal plans, like decode some Bible verses for me that I'm just not seeing. What are some cool things I can spend my time with? Do that. Find ways that help you decompress in the moments that you're starting to choose yourself. I digress. I could go on for days about the things that we don't change, or the things that we are choosing. And I want all of us, myself included, to feel very confident 80% of the time in the choices that we're making. 20%, it's just life and it's character development. But 80%, it is up to us. It is up to us. So thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys just really like being here with me on this podcast, whether you're listening through audio or you're on my YouTube channel or you're on social. Thank you for being here. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of Party of One Podcast. Peace.